Hello everybody and welcome back to the Gaming Den. My name is Tyler and today we are going to be jumping into the first PvP battle done with SirJellyBean. It's going to be a good one. We're just waiting for the loading screen to finish and we're going to go straight in. So here we are in game and I'm doing a voiceover because I find it's much easier to do it this way with PvP battles. Because with PvP, especially when you have comms and you're speaking with a friend, we are talking about a strategy, we're trying to, and then there's a lot going on. So there's a lot to focus on in a PvP battle. Obviously, you want to win when you play a PvP battle. It's what you're trying to do. You're trying to beat the opponents. So this was our first one with my first one with SirJellyBean, and our strategy for this game and for a lot of the games was SirJellyBean quickly heads to the center where he secures that and tries to hold it while I secure the flanks, right? So as you can see right now, I'm moving my guys through the fields and there's a little bit of lag, a little bit of performance drops here and there. It happens a lot with Gates of Hell Online on the PvP. I don't believe the devs have like dedicated like servers. I do know myself that dedicated servers are extremely expensive thing to run. So it's completely normal for a smaller studio not to have their own dedicated servers. So while that lags, at the beginning of games, you usually get quite a lot of lag and it kind of settles down. But as you can see, I'm securing this farmhouse compound here because the enemy can actually come through. The enemy can actually come through basically the middle there. If you look towards the west on the minimap, you got those three points. You got the middle point and then the far right point and then the point that I'm securing now. The enemy can come kind of through there, so you want to secure your flanks. Okay, I've noticed with a lot of gamers online, obviously me being ex-military, I kind of think differently in many ways when it comes. I think more tactically, more strategically. Doesn't always work in video games. It would probably work in real life. Obviously, it does work in real life a lot better. Video games, a lot of time you're playing, it's like in boxing. An unorthodox fighter is, if an unorthodox fighter is fighting with, somebody who's very tactical, very strategic with their punches and that person will find it hard to fight an unorthodox fighter. Because they don't really have a strategy. They're just, going, it's very hard to fight that. So, in real life, when you're fighting in a professional military army, you can kind of predict what they're going to do because they're going to be using strategies and tactics probably quite similar to what you've developed. In video games, especially online, a lot of people don't have a strategy. They just kind of, let's bum rush the middle and just secure that, and then we'll branch out from the middle. Me and SirJellyBean are very much about flanking maneuvers. You'll see throughout, we've recorded about 7 or so PvP battles that I'm going to be doing voiceovers of, and SirJellyBean is also on his channel going to be uploading them with his own voiceovers. So make sure to go and check out SirJellyBean, link in the description. So as you can see, there's contact in the middle because again, people go straight for the middle. We do as well. However, we're securing the flanks. We're leaving units there. A lot of online players, they secure the flanks and they leave 1 or 2 guys there and then they just head to the middle. I personally leave like at least a whole squad, or I split a squad into 50-50 and move half in. As you can see, I've got just 3 guys here moving up to secure this point. You'll see later on I will reinforce it because I was uneasy the whole time with that far right flank. With just having 3 guys there, I was very uneasy. I kept checking, kept looking at the minimap. I didn't feel comfortable at all having just 3 guys there. But as you can see, the enemy are coming in. So SirJellyBean's got an armored car. You'll see that I also looking at getting some armor. Hmm. And you'll see some really cool you'll see a really cool maneuver later on, where I won't spoil it, but it kind of breaks the enemy, breaks the opponents, kind of panics them. So as you can see, where I'm sending my armored car, I'm heading straight for the flanks. I'm like, yeah, no. They think that we're in the middle, and I don't like having this big blank area on the east there, on the mini map. They could flank us. I'm always thinking about that. Oh, they're gonna flank us. I'm always paranoid about that. Because flanking maneuvers can seriously break your spirit. They can panic you, and a good flanking maneuver can definitely potentially win you the game, or win the opponent the game, if they flank you. So, even in video games, flanking maneuvers can be extremely useful. Um, so as you can see, I'm holding off a little bit, because I don't have any infantry to support this armored car. So, and I believe we're fighting against the US, or maybe just Soviets. Maybe both opponents are Soviets, actually. But anyway, the Soviets, they do get hold of Panzer Shreks and even Panzer Faust, but mostly Panzer Shreks. And those things are like the US bazookas. They got good range and good accuracy, so you got to be careful of those. And they will take an army car out like that in one hit. I will speak about it in other videos, other voiceovers on the PvP. But oh my god, if the devs of Gates of Hell are listening, please rebalance the US, because if you're playing as US, or you got to look into that, because man, they are the M1 Grand mixed with the bazooka and the 50 cal. That is a combination of death. The US is extremely difficult to fight, and they're quite easy to play as well. I do think the US needs a little bit of rebalancing. I think the M1 Grand, potentially, the fire rate would obviously need to stay the same to stay realistic, but I think the accuracy could be toned down. And the same with the 50 cal. I think the accuracy needs to be toned down on that, because the MG42, the accuracy is pretty bad, actually, but the 50 cal is like a sniper. It's pretty accurate. And obviously it's very powerful. Now, the Western Doctrine has some really great half tracks. I really love the 15 millimeter like triple machine gun half track. That thing rips. That is one way that they have balanced with the US, because the US get the quad 50, which is devastating. That will take out infantry and armored cars like nothing. It's like hot knife through butter. As you can see, I've took direct control, and I'm just YOLOing the flanking maneuver without any infantry support. I'm just going for it. No stopping whatsoever. Just going for it. Because basically, me and SirJellyBean were speaking about how easy it's been so far, and we didn't know what was going on. We felt they were planning something. So I was just like, fine, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go straight for the flanks, because I really felt that they were building up, and I wanted to break that build up. Whatever they were building up, I wanted to surprise them. I wanted to break it. And I wanted to stop them from building up whatever assault force they were building. And that's why I decided to take direct control of the armored car and just head for the flanks. Just head for the enemy territory. As you can see, SirJellyBean is actually supporting me with infantry. He's capturing the enemy point right now. And then that's where that shot comes in right over my head. I'm like, what the heck was that? And then again, and then this is where I'm just like, okay, I'm gonna go this way, because if I'd have gone the other way, I felt like I was gonna get taken out by whatever was firing at me. Because at that time, I didn't know what was firing at me. I just knew I was being shot at by something very dangerous, and I needed to get out of its sight so I could try and flank whatever that was. As you can see, I actually find a mortar, which is great, and just take it out. And then there's some infantry dotted around. Obviously, I'm being careful because the infantry could take me out with Panzer Shrek or AT grenades. As you can see, again, something is shooting at me. Something has me in its sights, and it wants me dead. So I am trying not to die. I'm trying to figure out what's firing at me. Then again, I was fired at. And this is where I find what the enemy was planning. Right here, right now. Boom, there we go. 2 Su-75s, I believe. And I'm like, crap. And I'm just trying to, I'm breaking it. I'm breaking it, whatever they were planning. This is what I was looking for with this armored car. I was looking for what they were doing because they weren't really attacking us with much force. And I'm like, that's not normal. So here I am trying to evade getting shot by these tank killers here. And there you go, bam, bam, I take it out. And then what happens is we start to get some freaking lag, okay? And that lag is what eventually gets me killed, to be honest, because I probably could have kept on evading. However, it was very difficult to keep evading with the lag because, yeah, it was very difficult. I was popping in and out. The enemy were trying to shoot me, and eventually they got me. But that's not the point. That armored car is nothing. It's not valuable. It's not worth anything. What's important is we now know their plan, and we broke their attack. I even killed a couple of the crew in that SU. So you know, we've damaged their build up. We know what they're planning. We know what they're gonna do. And yeah, so now we can prepare for that, because if they had sent those 2 SUs right around our flank, we would have probably could have really damaged us, or even we could have lost the game. So knowing that, and then he just shoots this guy because I was trying to sneak up to shoot the rest of the crew in the back, but he manages to get my guy. Yeah, we found out what they were planning and we damaged them. So I'm looking to bring in some more elite infantry. I've got this. It's the 2cm. Yeah, it's the 20cm cannon on the half track, which is actually pretty good. The fire rate in that's pretty good. Obviously, half tracks are weak. It's like the US Quad 50. It is devastating, but I mean, you can take it out with a frag, you know, with a frag grenade. So, as you can see, I keep checking back up there because, I'm uneasy about having so little guys up there. If they attack, then I knew I would lose that point. But now we know that they've got these SUs. We are hunting them. Like we want to kill these. We want to hunt these SUs down and destroy them because they're pretty expensive. And as you can see, SirJellyBean's coming in. I'm coming in. I'm flanking now. So I'm actually flanking. I want to take this position from the enemy. Basically force them to split their forces. So that's kind of what I always thinking in my mind. If we're struggling, and I always do it with AI as well. Whenever me and SirJellyBean are playing against AI, we always play against veteran or heroic. So the AI always kind of bum rushes the middle. They don't really flank, and you know, basically it does work with the AI as well, but it works even better with people, with real people. And that is, if ever we are getting pushed too hard somewhere, like in the center's always pretty rough. If we're ever getting pushed too hard there, I like to just put a little assault force together, and I like to flank the enemy. And I really like this assault. It was really well done, if I do say so myself. And I like to basically to panic them. So my reason for attacking at this point is not so much to capture it, because we already have 3 points. I mean, yeah, capture it and the game will win it faster. But really my strategy behind attacking this specific point was to force the enemy to split their forces up. I'm trying to make the opponents split their forces in two, or at least divert some forces to the furthest point on the map, so that basically they can't hit us so hard anywhere else. And it does somewhat work, but I don't think they really had a lot of forces. They spent a lot of resources on those SUs, and we kind of we found them out. We broke their build up. We kind of forced them to start their assault early because we discovered their plan. So this was really, really good. So I saw these guys coming up. I didn't want to bum rush my half track up there, just because I didn't know what weapons they had. Um, so I was just trying to figure that out, being careful. The reason I've got direct control is so if they pop out with an 80 rocket launcher, I can quickly attack them. I'm trying to get my guys in a position where they can actually fire out the building at any enemy infantry that's coming, because right now they're kind of in there and kind of vulnerable a little bit. As you can see, though, um, we're pressing them pretty hard. I do honestly believe that if we didn't find those two SUs, they would have continued building up, and they could have broken us. Um, but they spent a lot of resources on those SUs. I will say, even though you'll see me and SirJellyBean using tanks and that, because we like tanks, it's cool stuff, you know. Really, on PvP, lighter and cheaper armored vehicles and lots of infantry is somewhat more effective, because if you spend a lot of money on a big tank and it gets taken out, bah, that's a big loss. As you can see, I'm trying to move up here. I'm trying to get a grenade, and that guy starts running that way. That's annoying. So I just took direct control, and I'm gonna frag those guys. And then I just take them out. So was happy with that. As you can see, they're pressing on the middle. They're trying to send a lot of infantry through the middle. One piece of advice I would do, even though, you know, sometimes you can't avoid it, is try to keep your infantry spread apart, because, you know, this happens in games. It's the same in real life. Spacings are so important. But when you're in the open, try to, you know, spread your guys out. Even if you're doing an attack, spread them out, because you can see, you know, they got guys there. They got guys in the middle so close together that, you know, one hit, one HE round from a tank, and that would do them. As you can see, I got caught off here. This T60, the fire rate is insane, but I'm still firing back. I'm still damaging. As you can see, I took out a tank man with those AP rounds, and I believe no, I just took one guy out. Okay, so I'm still trying to, but my half track does get taken out. There you go. I did damage it, you know, with those rounds, and you know, my plan was I needed to take that thing out, because that would rip my infantry up if it gets a chance to. So I was trying to think of, like, okay, how can I do this? My half track isn't actually pinning enough to fully take it out. So yeah, that fire rate is insane on the T60. So my plan was, okay, my infantry guy here has an 80 grenade. So I was going to see if I can actually run up and use that against him. Here, I'm just going to grab a tank, and I'm going to bring it up here. It's going to take a while. The Stug 42 is an incredible tank, actually. It's a very, very good tank. The heat rounds on the Stug 42 are really, really good. As you can see, I'm direct controlling this guy right now, and I'm running. He's trying to move at me, but bam, take him out with a 80 grenade. Then I pull my guy back, and yeah, take the crew out. But yeah, that was basically it. You know, like we had won this now. They weren't going to pull this back. They had one position left. So SirJellyBean was holding the center like a champ. As you can see, they're bringing in a heavier tank up there. It is KV-1S, pretty good tank, but it's too late, honestly. It's too late for them to really pull this back. They would need crazy luck to pull this back, unless they did a crazy flanking maneuver on my far right, on the western side of the map, because I don't have a lot of guys there, which is going against my own rule. But yeah, it was a really good match, to be honest. I would say, just saying good game in the chat. You know, it's always good to be, you know, humble. There is a match, a really long match. It was almost an hour. I will do a voiceover of that and upload it. But yeah, we lost that one, but I mean, it was a really good match. Like when I upload that, you guys need to watch it because it's insane match. Like 45-minute match, and it was incredible. It was a really good match. I enjoyed it, even though we lost. I really enjoyed it. So SirJellyBean lost his tank to the KV, but we're at 995 points out of 1,000. And yeah, so about it really. There we go, won it. So yeah, that was the match, guys. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. And I will see you in the next PvP, guys. See you later. Bye bye.